Բարի գալուս մի երեկո, որտեղ գեղեցիկն ու էսթետիկա միավորվում են եւ ստեղծում են մի բացառիկ հիշողություն, որի մասնիկ ենք հենց մենք բոլորս հենց հիմա այստեղ։ Այսօր մենք հավաքվել ենք նշելու արվեստի ներփաճաշակության եւ բարձրագույն վարպետության տոնը։ Այս դահլիճում ներկա են Hermitage-ի հարգարժան հետևորդները, հաճախորդներ եւ բարեկամները, եւ մենք շնորհակալ ենք, որ կիսում եք մեզ հետ այս կարևոր երեկոն, որը կազմակերպվել է հենց Hermitage-ի թիմի կողմից։ Այս սրահը, որտեղ որ մենք հենց հիմա գտնվում ենք, Հայաստանի ազգային պատկերասրահի ողնանկարների դահլիճն է, այսօր վերածվում է այն մի տարածքի, որտեղ նա չի հիացնում միայն կտավով, այլ բույրով եւ դիչում է բոլոր զգայարաններին եւ շնորհակալություն Hermitage-ին կազմակերպելու համար։ Մեր այսօրվա հանդիպման պատճառը մի անհատականություն է, ով ընդլայնել է ժամանակակից պարֆյումի սահմանները, այո, նա հենց ինքն է Ֆրենսիս Քուրքջյանը։ Նրա ստեղծագործական ուղին դուրս է գալիս սովորական պատկերացումներից։ Նա ակտիվորեն գործում է արվեստի տարբեր ոլորտներում եւ ձգտում է մարդկանց կյանքը դարձնել ավելի խորթավոր եւ զգայական։ Պատահական չէ, որ նա աշխարհի լավագույն պարֆյումերն է։ Եվ մեզ համար մեծ պատիվ է նշել, որ սա մայեստրոյի երրորդ պաշտոնական այցն է Հայաստանում Hermitage-ի հրավերով։ Առաջին անգամ Ֆրենսիս Քուրքջյանը մեկնել է Հայաստան 2011 թվականին։ Երկրորդ անգամ 2016 թվականին եւ այդ այցը եղել է շատ պատմական եւ խորհրդանշական Հայաստանի համար, որովհետեւ iconic բակարատ ռուժ 540 բույրը առաջին անգամ ներկայացվեց հենց այստեղ Երևանում։ Այս բույրը գրավել է հարյուրավոր, հազարավոր, ես կարծում եմ ավելի շատ միլիոնավոր մարդկանց սրտերը եւ հետաքրքիր այն է, որ հենց հայերն են առաջինը փորձել այն։ Սա բացառիկ իրադարձություն է եւ 10 տարի անց եկեք միասին այսօր այդ պատմությունը կրկնենք։ Ինչու ոչ։ Վերջերս լույս տեսավ մի տպավորիչ ֆիլմ, որը բացահայտում է հենց այդ լեգենդար բակարատ ռուժ 540 բույրի ստեղծման գաղտնիքներն եւ կախարդանքը։ Մենք մեծ հույս ունենք, որ շատ շուտով հնարավորություն կունենանք այն նաև տեսնել այստեղ, բայց մենք այս երեկո պակաս անակնկալներ ձեզ համար չենք պատրաստել, այնպես որ մնացեք մեզ հետ։ Այժմ մեծ պատիվ ունեմ հրավիրելու մի անձի, ով ոչ միայն ներկայացնում է Hermitage-ը, այլ ձևավորում է նրա տեսլականը, մտածողություն եւ զարգացումը։ Hermitage-ի բիզնես ստրատեգ եւ մարքեթինգի տեղեկատար, Hermitage-ի իրական հոգի Յանա Մարկոսյան։ Եթե նայում եք իմ ստորիները մեկ Instagram-ում, իմ boyfriend-ը, որ միշտ բույրերը ուղարկում, հենց իմ շատ լավ մոտիկ ընկերուհին է Յանա ջան, բեմը քոնն է։
Շնորհակալություն Իվետա։ Ողջույն, սիրելի բարեկամներ, հյուրեր, Hermitage-ցիներ։ Ջերմորեն ողջունում եմ մեր ամբողջ մեծ թիմի կողմից, Hermitage-ի թիմի կողմից։ Այս երեկոն մեզ համար պարզապես միջոցառում չէ։ Այն իրադարձություն է, որոնք մենք պատրաստվել ենք 3 ամիս, Ֆրենսիս Քուրքջյանի թիմի հետ աշխատելով եւ կյանքի կոչելով այս մշակութային իրողությունը։ Մեզ համար մեծ պատիվ է այսօր հյուրընկալել մեծարգո պարֆյումեր, բարեգործ, արվեստի գործիչ հայ արմատներով Ֆրենսիս Քուրքջյանին։ Այսօր դուք հնարավորություն կունենաք նորից բացահայտել իր ստեղծագործությունները եւ անձամբ շփվել։ Մենք միշտ հավատարիմ ենք մեր առաքելությանը, մարդկանց կյանքը դարձնել ավելի էսթետիկ եւ արվեստին մոտ։ Բայց այդ ամենը հնարավոր չէր ձեր էներգիայի, ձեր ներկայության եւ ձեր մեզ ոգեշնչելու, դուք մեզ շատ ոգեշնչում եք եւ մեզ ուժ եք տալիս, որ մենք իրագործենք այս մեծաբաշտաբ նախագծելը, Բոլորիս մաղթում եմ հաճելի երեկո եւ հիշարժան պահեր։ Շնորհակալություն։
Սա բարենք Լիաննային։ Իրոք ահռելի աշխատանք է արվել հետնաբեմում։ Իսկ հիմա մեծ սիրով եւ հպարտությամբ բեմ հրավիրենք համաշխարհային մեծության մաեստրոին Ֆրենսիս Քուրքջյանին, ում հետ կունենանք շատ անկեղծ եւ հետաքրքիր զրույց։ Today my guest is a man who has changed the way the world smells. He created Jean-Paul Gaultier's Les Mâles at only 24 and gave the world Baccarat Rouge 540, the fragrance that conquered all of us. Now, master perfumer Frensis Քուրքջյան, head of his own perfume house, is here in Yerevan, Armenia. Please, let's welcome him on stage. French people always give 2 kisses, right? Please have a seat. It's a pleasure to have you. Please, if you feel like saying a couple words to the people before we start.
Pareftes, good evening, bonsoir, English. Unfortunately, English. I don't speak much Armenian anymore, and I don't want to offend you with my terrible French accent speaking Armenian. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the team of Hermitage to gather us tonight. Thank you. I heard that there is the Prime Minister, the Minister of Culture. Sir, thank you for being with me tonight. Thank you all the guests, thank you my friends as well, and let's start because it's just the beginning of the evening.
Yeah, we have a lot of surprises for the guests tonight, so please have a seat.
Thank you.
We are very happy to have you here. It's okay. So if you don't mind, I have a few questions for you. First of all, it's nice to see you in physical form because we always smell you. You're always with us. So the fragrance wardrobe is essential to your maison. How can someone use scent to express their own personality and multi-layered story?
How can you express your personality within the personalities? The idea is to leave people the choice to wear the perfume they want and to be who they want to be. Really, this is the true idea. I remember my mother, she had many perfumes throughout her life. From what I know, she used to wear a perfume for the 70s when I was born, and later on she wore different perfumes, and she was never loyal to one perfume. She has only one husband in her life, but she had different perfumes. So maybe it would be a good way to do it. Wear different perfumes and just stay with one man, maybe that would be the idea. No, the idea is just the world we live in today and the personalities we are today are much more complex, I believe, than our older people, I would say. And I think that there is one perfume does not exist. I really believe that it's impossible. The human personality is so complex that one perfume is not enough. It's like if you had to decide what would be the piece of art that would follow you all your life, or the piece of music that you would have to listen for the rest of your life. The world offers so many beautiful things that I think I dare to believe that I can create few of them, if not one.
Thank God you can create few of them. We're very grateful for that. Yes, I can imagine it's, of course, compared also with music that you did. We have a lot of music that we love, but it's not always the same song that we hear, right? That's true. So every luxury scent has a shadow hidden note that provides structure. What is your favorite invisible ingredient that remains indispensable to a composition? If it's something you can tell us, because it's the secret of a maestro.
Well, it's not about to keep it secret, but there is not one magical ingredient that makes everything. It's like we are here in the Museum of National Art. the National Museum of Art, sorry. And there is not, if you look at all the piece of works that are hanging on the walls, there is not one color used by the artist. There is not one thing that just can capture everything. And the ingredient is very much the end of the story. The story starts with inspiration. We have a room dedicated to Rouge, to Baccarat Rouge 540, so maybe I will use that perfume as an example so people can truly imagine what I'm talking about. But the story behind this perfume was the story of crystal making and how, in a very unique way, crystal compared to glass is much heavier, and it's lighter, it's brighter. It has more intensity with the light. And if you have to translate this idea into a scent, it sounds a bit difficult to understand that something very warm and very sensual can be heavier than what it is, and yet very transparent. So the story always comes first. Once you have the story, the inspiration, then you get to pick the ingredients that you want to create this inspiration. If you want to write a novel, let's say it's a love affair, the wording that you pick depends on the story you want to say, you want to tell. You just don't put words on the piece of paper and hoping that this is something that's going to work together. It's the way around. So the ingredient is not something. I have good quality is important, of course, the best quality possible every time. But the ingredient at the very end, it's not a story. You know, mandarin, jasmine, lavender, apricot, pomegranate. Okay, what they have to tell you? They tell you who they are. So it's almost you as an individual when you interact with someone you are happy to be with. You know, you connect in a different way. You become someone different, not someone different, but you express a different facet of who you are. Perfume making exactly the same.
Can I tell you a personal story, if you don't mind? So you were talking about a love story, and you were talking about that it's really interesting, like, you know, you connect to a person. I tell you a personal one. I have to thank you, very grateful, because of you, I found love in my life. Yes.
Can I tell you a secret? Can I tell you a secret? Secret.
Wow. So I just tell this little story to put it in a physical human form, what you said. There was a man in my life. There is a man in my life. And I saw him every day. One day, I was wearing Baccarat Rouge 540. And he just paid a different kind of attention to me. And he said, "You smell so good." So next day, I tested it. I used another perfume. I'm not going to say names. It was not Kurkджyani. He didn't react the same way. So I went back to Baccarat, and I will invite you to my wedding if it's going to happen. Thank you for that. So you believe a scent without a story isn't relevant, right? In today's fast-paced market, how do you protect your story from the noise or the way you compose scent? How do you protect your personal stories? Because it's very noiseful in the world, you know, it's noisy, it's a lot of information. I think you have to stick to yourself all the time, really.
I follow exactly what you just said. I follow who I am, and I follow what the Maison is about. I follow what we believe in within the Maison, quality product. We don't launch new perfume so often because inspiration is very hard. I say easily that inspiration is the hidden part of the work I do. It's basically 90% of my work. You don't see it, it's about inspiration, meaning what would be the next perfume, and usually it takes me about 18 months to create a scent when I start to create it. So as long as I don't have the idea, as long as I don't have the name, because the name always comes first, I don't work. But once I start working, it takes about 18 months. And sometimes right in the middle, I decide to kill basically the perfume, to trash it and to disregard it, because I believe at some point that if I'm not the first one to be excited about the perfume, then who is going to be excited for me?
It's very true. I can compare it with music because I'm an
Totally.
artist and a songwriter. So there are a lot of songs that we write, that I write, and then there's so many songs that we don't release because we change all the time. Everything is emotion. And then you disconnect from that emotion. And exactly as you said, if you don't believe in it, if you don't feel it, why would you show it to the world, right? And every song that I create, I always say, let me get pregnant with the song. So how many children you already have in a form of
You know
perfume?
what? I just said I kill the perfume when I don't like it. You know, you can't kill your children. I mean, you should not, but you don't kill your children. So my perfumes are not children. You know, I'm not like Medusa who's killing the children. You know?
No.
It's
I see
impossible.
my songs as children, but
No. I refuse that.
okay. So your work often feels like a bridge to the future, right? Do you prefer rooting your sense in personal memory or the challenge of constructing entirely new, non-existent landscapes?
I am not so sure how much of my personal life I put into the perfume. No, not so much. I think I created a line of candles based on those personal memories as a child. But when I create perfume, I like to. There is already my name on the bottle, you know, so I don't need to infuse more than just that. And I prefer to try. I try to create what I call universal stories. Stories that people can rely wherever they are in the world, who they are. I prefer to be able to find something that unites people around the globe, because of course here today I'm in Armenia. On Sunday I'm flying to New York City. In between I'll be in Paris on Sunday afternoon for a couple of hours. I was in Dubai last month and in Tokyo in January. So I travel the world, and basically the perfume has to have a meaning everywhere on the globe, you know. So the idea is to find what makes people together. Beauty is one of them. Beauty is one thing that unites people, of course. Kindness as well, I believe in kindness a lot. And besides that, it's about stories that speaks to people. So it's about a night in Paris or a night in somewhere else, in a big city, in Grand Soir, for example. It could be the sunset or the sunrise with Petit Matin, and the beauty of the sun getting up. Of course, it's different if you look at the sun getting up in Armenia, or if you look at the sun rising in France or in Italy or in South America. But the beauty of watching the sun rising remains the same. The hope that you have behind that natural thing is the same for everybody on the planet.
Well,
So I'm more about that, I have to say.
well, you do a great job because it feels very personal to us, but it means that you are a very great observer of the world, right?
I'm sure you do, because as an artist, this is usually where the inspiration comes from.
That's true. We need to observe the world, really. Your work often feels like a... Sorry, this question we already asked. I'm a little excited. Please have an... Because Maestro Francis Kurkджyani is right next to me. So we know that it takes something like, you said, 18 months or 20 months from the inspiration to the launch of a new fragrance. Could you give us a few words about what's next for the Maison and your next creation? Do you have already an inspiration that you want to put in a bottle for us?
What's next? The time sheet is very different, because what's next is for the Maison. Basically, is right now. What's next, which is about now. On May 14, we'll be launching on a media platform on Prime Video. We'll be launching a documentary about the backstage and the creative process on Rouge 540.
Very excited for that.
And a group of people and a group of artists who joined me for that. So that's the very near future. It's May 14, and this is why I'm also flying to the US and also to Germany and probably to Italy. September is about the launch of a new perfume. I won't say much, but this is September. For December, we're just at the end of the final touch on the campaign for Christmas, because we have each year we come up with a big theme for Christmas, for New Year's Eve. So we are adding the final touch of the digital movie that we will be putting on social media. And then the big thing for me is to create the new perfumes for next year. So I'm almost at the end. Almost, the very end of it. The bottle is secure, the design, the name, the packaging. It's going to be 27. It's going to be a great year, because we have to basically. It's like a house, you know. The Maison Francis Kurkджyանի. It says Dune. La maison, the house is very important. You have to take care of your house. You have to. Once in a while, you have to reshape it almost, and this is what's happening for next year. So it takes time, and I have a great team, lots of agent subsidiaries around the world. So it's about in total 400 people in total nowadays.
And I'm sure you work together since many, many years, right? I'm sure you work since many, many years with your team. 400 people. It's you know, you have to.
People worldwide. I think we have about 40 countries now, about a bit more than 800 doors, points of sales in the world. And this has been now for 18 years. We were only 3 people when we started the company.
Yeah, teamwork is really everything, and it tells a lot about you, about your house, about how you care for it. Could you maybe tell us, I mean, you don't have to, but the frequency that you're preparing, this isn't 3 questions, sorry. For the frequency that you have for next year, maybe you can tell us a direction of how it's going to smell, or a mood, or a word. No, of course, the maestro doesn't tell his secrets, obviously. Of course, no, it makes us, of course, more excited. So, we have a few questions for you that people ask in the chat, in the Instagram page. So these are the 3 questions that we chose that people really, really want to know. So if you don't mind. Francis Kurkджyանի, how will artificial intelligence change the perfume industry, in your opinion?
Artificial intelligence is not a reality yet.
No.
Because my work is very. You have to divide my work in 2 parts, and one thing that we have to understand is what is perfume. Perfume is not just a scent. Perfume is a name, a brand name, a product name, and a scent and a smell. This is for me what a perfume is about, because when you are asked what you wear, you have to be proud to tell the name, and the name has to say something to you, but also to the person you talk to. Why I'm saying so? Because tomorrow, even though we will have artificial intelligence, it will compile datas. It's all about datas. It's going to be about formulas. We won't have behind it emotions. We won't have behind it intentions. It's just going to be a pile of datas, smells. It's not going to smell bad. I'm sure they're going to be good smell, but I challenge that they're going to be beautiful smell, because there is a big difference between a good smell and a beautiful smell and a beautiful perfume. You know, because the difference is one thing, is the emotion you get when you wear it. This is it. It's like music, you know, AI music.
Yes.
You have more issues with AI music right now than I do with perfumes.
Yes. Yeah, so your work is actually, I think that for the future it is even more important because the legacy and the heritage that you're going to leave, that you're leaving right now, that you're putting into the reality, is going to remind people to connect to their soul and to an emotion that we might lose more and more. So your work is more important than ever. We have 2 more questions, if you don't mind. Which city is your favorite in terms of inspiration? I mean, you already said it's a lot of situations, a lot of different things, but maybe there's one city that you feel the most inspired.
I never answer to questions like the most, the more, because to me, life is not about one thing. It's not one something on top and the rest follows, you know? So it's always difficult to me, and on top of it, I can change my mind, not easily, but my taste is quite large in terms of what I like. So for me to answer what is my best inspiration, I think life is a good way to answer it. What tomorrow, the idea of thinking about tomorrow is very interesting, maybe because, and I think it will resonate here very much, I'm a grandson of immigrants. I am a grandson of people who escaped, who managed to escape. And we are 4 days away from a commemoration. And maybe because at some point I understood that some people wanted to kill my family or my people, there is that idea like to move forward, to always look ahead. You have to look back because it's where you are grounded. You have to look on the ground you walk in because this is where your feet are stamped in, you know, like you stand in the ground. However, you have to look up, chin up, look ahead because this is where life is about. If you keep looking at your feet because you're ashamed, because you are always sad, because you keep remembering where you are from, this is how you fall in life.
It's very true. Yes. It's very true, yeah. You should definitely not forget where the roots are, but I think it's very important in life in general to not drown into the emotions, to feel it and to let it go and to be able to move forward. Thank you so much. So we have one last question. This is actually a surprise for me because why did you ultimately choose the world of fragrances over ballet?
I'm sorry. Because I was not good enough. It's not. I didn't choose to be honest. Ballet chose. Ballet decided I won't do it, you know. And I was last night at the opera, National Opera, to watch Swan Lake, a beautiful Swan Lake, and I was very happy to be able to see it, to watch the performance. But I was not meant to become a ballet dancer because I was not good enough. You know, sometimes it's as simple as that. And then the next thing was, maybe I can become a perfumer.
So now when you go to
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all, no. So when you sit in the opera and watch the beautiful ballet, do you think like, oh, it's nice, but thank God I moved to Boston?
No, I still miss ballet a lot, but you have to accept this is life. You know, life is sometimes it doesn't go the way you want, so you have to just accept it.
But I'm also sure that the life and the sophistication of the theater and the world and the smell of theaters and everything somehow also is part of, you know, your inspiration sometimes. No?
Usually I rely the idea of perfume with being on stage. My ballet teacher, my opera ballet teacher used to tell me that you have to basically feel the room, feel the stage. And you know that because you're a singer. So when you're on stage, you have to be able to
feel the room.
Feel the room. The same way a good perfume. With a good perfume has to fill the room. This is how it works. And to me, this is how I rely perfume to theater and to ballet.
I think we found out a lot of things about Frensis Kurkджyani tonight. I'm very happy that you're here. I'm very excited. I mean, I'm reading the room, but tonight I'm a little excited because you're here, to be really honest. So thank you so much for being our guest,
Thank
or
you.
honored guest.
Thank
Խնդրում եմ բարձր ծափարենք մայստրոյի համար. Thank you so much for your insight and for the information. Բարձր ծափարենք մայստրոյի համար. I'm speaking a little Armenian now, if you don't. Այո, շնորհակալ ենք հետաքրքիր զրույցի համար։ Այժմ առաջարկում ենք շարունակել մեր երեկոն միասին, բացահայտելով բրենդի ամբողջ տեսականին։ Հրավիրում ենք ձեզ տեղափոխվել երկրորդ սրահ, որտեղ ձեզ սպասում են զգայարանների համար ստեղծված մի ամբողջ աշխարհ։ Երեկոյի գագաթնակետը մեզ սպասում է երրորդ սրահում բակարատ immersive experience. Yeah, we have surprises for the guests tonight. Փորձառություն բացահայտելու բույրի նոր ընկալումը։ Եվ իհարկե այս երեկոն ավարտ չի ունենա առանց փոքր, բայց հատուկ անակնկալի, այնպես որ նվեր կա բոլորի համար։ Այո, այս ամենը հնարավոր չէ լինի առանց Hermitage-ի հիմնադիրների եւ ողջ թիմի նվիրված սրտանց այս ամենը կազմակերպելու համար։ Իրոք սրտանց են այս ամենը արել։ Եկեք բարձր ծափարենք Hermitage-ի թիմի համար։ Շնորհակալություն ձեզ գեղեցիկը գնահատելու եւ այս մթնոլորտը կյանքի կոչելու համար։ Այսօր մենք միասին ստեղծեցինք մի շատ հետաքրքիր հիշողություն, որը դեռ երկար կհիշենք։ Thank you so much. Very honored to interview you. Շնորհակալություն բոլորին։